Hello and welcome to another 5-minute tech tip. I'm Dave Casuto with SF Tech Training, and this is part 4 of this Photoshop document that we're creating. You can see we got all kinds of layers happening. We got some glow, we have some shadows, we have different layers that used to be one layer. We split them apart. So go ahead and watch some of our previous videos on this project to see how we created this. But this one, I'm going to show you how to work with type and also work with shapes and a little bit of layering, how we can do that. So I want to have some type going across the bottom here. So I'm going to click on this T. And as I click on that, you'll notice I have a bunch of type options that appear here. And when you click on that, you'll see you have a number of different things you can work with. Let me just choose that one to tell it what I want. Here is the size of it. And now I'm going to click and drag going across and just start typing. Okay, I'm going to do Paleolithic Piazza. Okay, and you'll notice it doesn't fit in there, so I could either make this wider, I can make this possibly taller, and you can see then this comes in just like that, or of course you can just decide to make it smaller. So notice how you have your font options here to make this smaller. I can also click and drag on this T to make it smaller in real time, which is kind of fun. And also note that you have inside of the Windows panel, you have a character panel to work with. And this brings up a whole bunch of stuff here, including, as a repeat, your font type, you have your font size, and you also have something called your kerning and your leading. Kerning, leading, and also your tracking. So the tracking is probably going to be more relevant for me here. It's basically going to be the space in between all the letters together. So if I make this a little less so, see how that's going to bring them all together. Just like that. If I do the opposite happens. Whereas kerning is just between one letter and another letter. Okay, so certain letters look kind of funny if you kern them in a certain way. So let me just kind of do this a little bit halfway there. All right, now I'm going to click on this little check mark, go back to my move tool, and I'm going to click and drag to bring this down so I can see the whole thing. And that looks pretty cool, but let me show you something you may be doing occasionally is having just sort of like a frame around this using a shape. So I'm just going to click on this little shape right here. And you can decide what color the shape you want to be at this point if you like. All right, so I can click on this, and then maybe I want to do kind of this red shape. And then I'm going to just come off of the canvas just like that and end up off the canvas. And there it comes in like that. Now, why is it covering it? You guessed it, it's because of layers. So I need to just bring this down below, and now you'll see it's kind of framing it like that. And that looks pretty cool. All right, but let me just make it maybe look a little bit more interesting by working with the opacity. And this is the part where we're going to go a little bit deeper into layers. So I'm going to bring down my opacity on that shape slightly so you can see through that just the same. So it's like, oh, that's cool. So there's some depth. So you're kind of like seeing the story here. So a lot of you might be creating banners and things like that, and you'll want to see kind of what's behind it. So it just kind of creates like a window effect, which is kind of nice. So what are these things up here, by the way? When you're working with layers, you have the option to be able to filter things out. So maybe you only want to look at just your pictures. Maybe you only want to look at adjustment layer option, just your type. So let me just click on the type for right now, and then notice how it filters out just to show my type. I'm going to click on filter for pixel layers and get rid of the type. And then notice no type anymore, just my pictures. Okay, so pretty cool because sometimes when you get a lot of stuff, you only want to filter out by certain things. Okay, so pretty nice. Let me bring everything back. You'll notice how this changes, and I have all this ready to go. Okay, so this is definitely worth exploring. You'll notice there's also another one you might want to search by name, search by effects. If I click on effect, I'm only concerned with the ones that have a shadow. And if you watch in any of my previous videos on this, you'll see that there's a couple of these that actually have shadows on it, or at least one of them that has a shadow on it, or there's some that actually has a glow. Okay, bam, so now I have both the glow and also the shadow. Okay, So pretty cool, a little more advanced stuff you can be working with. Let me come back to kind. All right. So hopefully this was helpful. I would watch this from the beginning to end. This is a good representation of, kind of what you can do with Photoshop from beginning to end in terms of selection techniques, layering techniques, working with different effects, working with shapes, working with type. And, really, if you have all of this in your back pocket, you can pretty much accomplish 90% of the things you need to do to do like a nice basic banner or something like that. Okay. Especially with some of these selection techniques, like the direct selection, not the direct selection tool, the magic wand tool and the quick selection tool. All right. So in some future videos, I will be making just a banner so we can take a look at, sizing of things and also saving them. All right, so we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. This is Dave Casuto with SF Tech Training and 5-Minute Tech Tips. Feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, find me at sftechtraining.com and also through YouTube and LinkedIn. Talk to you soon, and thanks for watching.